Hello everyone and welcome to the first ever NoDQ.com Wrestling Trivia Challenge Bracketology. I am your host, the longest reigning Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion in history, the Pennsylvania sensation, Greg Cherry. Now, since I have been able to defend my championship successfully throughout 2 full seasons of the show, it was my idea to mix things up and find myself a new challenger in a completely different manner. Now, we've been doing mini tournaments before, and we've featured 4 people vying for a shot at the championship, which has led to some great matches and even a title change. So why not maximize this possibility and find an incredible challenger to put on potentially one of the best season finales of all time? So, what we did was we scoured the internet and let people have the opportunity to participate in the tournament. Some contestants from the past and some who have never played before. Now, I do want to preface this by saying this. We had many applicants for the tournament to get a shot at me, significantly more than the 16 we needed to fill the tournament. And for that response, we thank you. However, seeing as there were only a limited amount of spots to give, we were unable to fit everyone that applied into the tournament. So believe me, putting together the tournament was a lengthy process, and the matches were not finalized until I began filming this. But it was put together with the best possible matchups in mind. I also want to stress that if any of these participants are unable to compete in the tournament, we will look to all of those who applied to be a part of it and fit them in accordingly. So if you applied and you're not part of the top 16, don't give up because you still have a shot. That said, let us get started by looking at the bracket. This bracket is broken down into 4 sections with 4 contestants apiece. Each one is represented by one of the big 4 WWE pay-per-views. So therefore, we have the Mania division, the Rumble division, the Slam division, and the Survivor division. Each contestant is represented by different seeds, 1 through 4, for each division of the bracket. Let us not waste any time and get into the heart of the tournament by starting with the Mania division. Starting with the 4th seed, we have a contestant who goes by the name Josh Fresno Kid. He is actually a competitor in another wrestling trivia tournament and will be an interesting first-round competitor for his opponent, the former 4-time Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion, good old JM, Jeff Meacham. In the 3rd seed, we have Scott Grimes, who has been looking for an opportunity to compete for quite some time in the Wrestling Trivia Challenge show, going up against a worthy competitor who is looking to pick up his first win on the series, the owner of NoDQ.com, Aaron Rifts. Now, in case you might have somehow missed Jeff Meacham speaking on his return to the Wrestling Trivia Challenge competition, here it is again.
Hey, it's me, your old pal Jeff Meacham, here for I guess a few words, probably more than a few words. Knowing me, I do tend to ramble, as is demonstrated each and every time I appear on No DQ video. But this time is different for me. This time I have a chance at redemption. I have a chance to reclaim what was once mine, reclaim what I established and helped put on the map, reclaim what Greg Cherry has taken to new heights, and I will give him unbelievable amounts of credit. Greg Cherry is the definitive, the greatest wrestling trivia champion in the history of No DQ's trivia show, Wrestling Trivia Challenge. I'm not going to dispute that. I'm not even going to go there. What I will say is whoever is matched up against me in the first round of this amazing 16-person tournament that Greg has put together to establish a true, undisputed #1 contender for his title, and it is his title. It was mine, but it's his. I grant him that. Whoever's matched up against me in the first round, as my favorite Disney villain Scar would say, be prepared. The champ is returning to his throne, one way or another. See you guys soon.
Kind words there from Mr. Meacham, but his road to the championship is not going to be an easy one. Moving on now, we have the Rumble division. Like the last bracket, we started off with the number 4 seed, which in this case will be a man by the name of John Brown, who is looking to make his statement in the Wrestling Trivia Challenge world, taking on a man who knows what it means to win a tournament and dethrone a champion. The third man to be the Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion, from Gibraltar, David Diaz. For the number 3 seed, we picked one of our own, a formidable opponent who nearly dethroned Jeff Meacham in the first season and who provided a challenge for me in Season 4, Kyle Mach. And he will go one-on-one with a man that I have personally known for many years and a man who I actually met in the wrestling business, my best friend, Travis Neary, who has been a participant before and gave a heck of a challenge to Jeff Meacham in Season 2. And what does he have to say about a new opportunity to compete for the Wrestling Trivia Challenge Championship? Let us now hear from one Travis fan.
Greg Cherry's become a wrestling trivia machine. So to find a suitable challenger, let's do a tournament of 16. I'll be glad to enter and play your little game. But the one who's going to win is the one who's named T-Fame.
Much in the style of the genius, Lanny Poffo would be proud. Moving on to the Slam division, we have a man who has called me out on Twitter numerous times, Joe Kubik. If he believes he can take me down, he's going to have to go through one of the toughest opponents that anyone has ever seen on this show, and that is former Wrestling Trivia Challenge champion, Canada's own Chris Cass. Facing off in the other part of the Slam division, we have a returner from Season 1 of the show, another Canadian, Mark Moffat, who gave Jeff Meacham a run for his money. His challenge is definitely a formidable one, as the former voice of No DQ CAW and the head of ringscoops.com, Tommy McCardle, makes his return to No DQ to make this tournament a jelly jacket to say the least, baby. So we've heard from a competitor in each of the other 2 divisions. Let's hear what former champion Chris Cass has to say after hosting much of last season en route to a potential rematch at the end of Season 6.
Well, you finally decided to give me another shot. But yet I have to go through 15 other people to get it. Last time I remember, Greg, you hosted an entire season and automatically were awarded a title shot, yet I have to earn mine. It's alright, I'm going to win this. I know you got Jeff in here, but he's over the hill. He came in last in our triple threat.
Well, someone's confident. Finally, in the Survivor division, we have arguably one of the toughest overall divisions in the entire tournament. First of all, we have Kyle Hartman making his WTC debut, but he's going to have an incredibly difficult time getting past one of the best challengers I have ever faced in Season 4 finales, Jeremy McGill. For those that don't remember, Jeremy and I tied in the Season 4 finale, and I only won in the extra questions, so can he get through another tournament and attempt to redeem himself in Season 6? On the other side of the bracket, we have Gino McMannequin making his WTC debut as well, and his challenge is just as tough. He will be facing a man who many thought would take the title from me last season in Wrestling with Regret's own Brian Zane. Now the question is, what does the influencer have to say about this epic tournament? Well, I'll let him tell you.
Well. Look who's coming to the NoDQ.com Wrestling Trivia Tournament. Now, some of you might recall that in the season finale, I took the champion, Gregory Chegery, to his limit. I pushed him farther than anybody else in the entirety of that season. I saw him sweating. You saw him sweating. I pushed him to the absolute edge, and only because of a couple of fluke answers did he retain his championship. Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen at this tournament. I'm going to mow through all the other 15 individuals in this tournament. I'm going to face Gregory Chegery, and this time I'm taking his belt home to add to my collection.
To be honest, I'm really not worried about someone who can't get my last name right. But regardless, I'll be hosting the entirety of this tournament, making this the largest season in Wrestling Trivia Challenge history. Now, whoever wins this will most definitely earn it, and will give me an incredible run for my money in the finale of Season 6. Now, in regards to why we'll be asking, I do want to let you into my mind a little bit. I've had people complain about the use of my questions related to wrestlers involved in non-wrestling shows such as Up, Up, Down, Down and whatnot. But guess what? I'm telling you now that there will be a few of those sprinkled in throughout the tournament. Also, the no DQ and Spotify questions will return in some capacity. As for everything else, your knowledge of the business will have to be on point for you to make it the whole way through this tournament. And as one final treat, I'm letting you know that all of the skip questions for this tournament will not be coming from me, but from a very special source. More on that in the actual event. But now that the field is set, who is going to leave this tournament with their head held high? Which trivia mastermind is going to walk his way through this event? And will there be any upsets on the horizon? It is with great privilege that I am also going to announce for the first time ever that you guys can get in on the action by filling out your own Wrestling Trivia Challenge bracket. All you have to do is follow me on Twitter at PA Sensation and grab your bracket from there, fill it out, and send it back to me at nodqwtc@gmail.com. Each round will be scored accordingly, and if you manage to win the bracket competition, you'll receive a free shirt of your choice from my Pro Wrestling Tees store. And if you manage to get a perfect bracket, including the final score of the final round, you'll receive 2 shirts of your choice for free. Now, with all that said, we're going to be going through an exciting time here at No DQ with the Wrestling Trivia Challenge Tournament and the Bracket Challenge. Who's going to win the tournament? You'll have to tune in and see. Until that first round begins, I am, of course, the longest reigning champion in Wrestling Trivia Challenge history, Greg Cherry, bidding all of you a good night.